Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Amesie's Corner. How are you all doing out there? So what I want to talk about today is battery-powered impact guns and a lot of the lithium polymer tools that are out there nowadays. And one of the game changers is a full-power, half-inch lithium-powered impact gun. This is my Mac Tools version, half-inch. It's the BWP 151, I believe it's called. It's a 1,200 foot-pounds of breakaway torque at the push of a button anywhere you want it. No cords, no air lines, no compressors to worry about. And yeah, one of the great things is this, is I can take this tool home with me where I don't have an air compressor and be able to do exactly the same stuff that I did at the shop with, you know, shop air and all that, only I don't need it. Which means that if I was to get a compressor at home, I wouldn't need one as large, because a half-inch gun is more than likely the most demanding thing you're going to run on an airline, on an air pneumatic tool system. But lithium polymer batteries nowadays have just totally changed the game. So what I want to show you guys is my version, my gun. I've owned this gun for exactly 1 year, and it comes with a 1-year warranty on the gun and a 2-year warranty on the batteries. Now, I gotta say, I've replaced both batteries so far. About a month ago, they just weren't holding the charge. They kept dropping out on me and doing the kind of things that lithium polymer batteries do when they start to go bad. So I shipped them back, and they warranted them no problem. And when I got them back, I noticed that my gun was making a little bit of noise from a bearing inside, probably a bearing on the anvil. And I gotta add that I've used this gun a lot. Every lug nut that I took off a car for a full year here at the shop, and we are a very busy shop. And I used it to take every lug nut off, every lug nut on. It could be big trucks with 8 big lug nuts, and it has no problem doing that. I also use this for like suspension work and you know, pounding off sway bar links or tie rod ends or shocks and all that. I'll use it. I use this thing every day for a year, every day, and Sundays included. And it did really well, and I was able to turn it back within a year. It was actually, I heard the bearing making noise. It was the day the Mac tool dealer was here, and he listened to it. He said, "Yep, that's definitely a bearing noise." So he took the gun and he went to make my bill. He came out and he goes, "Guess when you bought this tool?" And I was like, I think this was like this. Let's call it December 1st. He's like, "You bought this tool 1 year ago, December 2nd, and it would say December 1st. I sent it back the last day I could have sent it out of warranty, and they took it and rebuilt it. I actually got it back. It's Sunday now. I got it back last Friday, and I actually haven't even used it yet. It was at the end of the day, and I was doing stuff that didn't require its use. But yeah, why I went with the Mac Tools version and not the Snap-on version? You'll know I love my micro lithium tools. These are great. These are. I've never actually warranted a battery. I've had my drill, my micro lithium drill here. I've had for about 3 or 4 years, and I'm still using its battery. It's just now, the battery that would have come with that's just now starting to show its age. But why didn't I not buy the Snap-on Monster Lithium stuff? It's probably as good as this tool, maybe a little more expensive. But one thing that it doesn't share, and if we look at the battery, you'll see, powered by DeWalt. And in their wisdom, which was a very smart move on their part, they made their batteries the same as the DeWalt tools. It will just go right on a DeWalt tool and work fine, and vice versa. The DeWalt battery will go right on the DeWalt's half-inch gun, or we have the reciprocating saw here, which those batteries will work. I mean, you buy this at like Home Depot, this cost me like $95 or something like that. So I mean, I already have the charger and the batteries. I could just buy the basic tool from, you know, online or go to Home Depot. And that's why I went with the Mac version of this tool, and that's why I recommend other people go with the Mac version of this tool. And you know, you spend a little more on the Mac version than you would on the DeWalt version, but I gotta say, I definitely notice this is a lot smoother in operation. This there are lug nuts that this one hasn't been able to take off. Like another tech was outside doing some tires out in the lot. This wouldn't touch him. I walked up with this gun and it broke him off. So there's definitely, maybe the anvil's a little heavier, maybe the hammers inside, the reciprocating hammers inside, I think are a little bigger and stronger on this one. But both are great tools, and I just love the interchangeability, how they all can just use the same batteries. That means if, say I want to buy a less expensive battery for this, I can just buy the DeWalt. They both have the same battery gauge. So they can get a little charge on that one, which is really, really cool. I like being able to press on the battery. It doesn't even need to be in the tool. And you can know, is that battery charged? Yep, that's good to go. And you can slap that in your box and there you're good to go. So why don't I put you guys up on the head cam and let's do a kind of an unboxing, because I got a demo unit, brand new demo unit from my Mac guy here. So we'll do an unboxing on this one, and then we'll compare these two here and bust off some lug nuts and see how just how it works and pros and cons of these things. All right. Well, all right, guys, here we are up on the box, and I have a nice Mac Tools bag with the impact gun in it. Now, these will come with a box. This is kind of I'm cheating a little on the unboxing. I wanted to show you guys what you got with a new one, but unfortunately the Mac dealer only had this unboxed one already. I don't know if it was a demo unit. I don't think it's ever been used, but everything you would get in the box is inside of this thing, including the bag. I bought mine. When I bought my gun, it came with what's in the bag. It came with the bag, and it also came with this DeWalt little screwdriver bit driver. Well, that's weird. The lights were coming on with no battery. That's lights on, nobody home. That was kind of strange. But yeah, it came with this here, which at first I didn't think I'd ever use, but I found that it works really great with like a screw bit kit. This fits right in there. I don't know if they still offer this one as that package deal, but that's just what came with mine. So anyways, enough of that. It comes with a nice case. I think they all come with a nice red case. I love these cases. I use them as like camera bags or tool bags when you take it home. Really durable things. But anyways, it's not about that. It's about what's inside of it. And you know, we get it'll be packaged differently, but you get the instruction book, everything you need to know about it. Yep, there's the 1200 breakaway foot-pounds of torque. And that it's weighs about 6 pounds. They're pretty loud. They're definitely louder than your average air pneumatic impact gun. One thing I did with mine, and I highly recommend it, is I got the rubber guard here. This kind of quiets it down. The anvil up in this area here is what makes all the noise. So anything you can get to kind of dampen that, and that works fairly well for that. But yeah, what comes in there, you get your instruction books, you get your instructions for the battery packs, you get 2 batteries, so there should be 2 instructions because they would have been separately boxed. But that's yeah, just, you know, don't put them in a fire, don't over discharge, you know, the usual lithium polymer warnings. And there are the 2 batteries there. They should come pretty much discharged, but these are both fully charged. When you're going to store these for long times, you want to store these without as much, you know, 40% of charge. So those have definitely been put on the charger. And speaking of the charger, there it is there. It can charge these Mac Tools batteries. This will also charge the DeWalt batteries. So like I said, you buy this gun with the good batteries, the good gun, you can use just inexpensive DeWalt tools that come bare. Now here is the gun itself. It's nice and sparkling clean. Now one thing you notice on mine, I have the little light taped over because, I mean, that might be great if you're on the side of the road, but one thing you're gonna see is that is just blinding right there. Like, I totally can't focus on anything else now. Yeah, great. So I mean, they have this headlight. I wish you could shut it off. I wish it didn't have it. There we go. So, and you can see here's where that anvil is all up in here. This is all I believe this is cast aluminum. Yeah, it's aluminum. And yeah, we got the guard on it. Same thing, same gun. And it's a really great thing. It's a little heavier than, you know, your average half-inch pneumatic gun. It's definitely bigger than it is, so it's been tougher because you got the battery hanging off. It's tough to get this into tight spots, which is definitely a con of the tool, but that's just a thing with anything with a big battery underneath it. Yeah, it's definitely heavier. Probably, I'd say this weighs 6 pounds. I'd say this probably weighs about 4 pounds which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're swinging these things around, these can kind of be a little heavy. I find myself kind of resting it on my shoulder, sometimes walking around with it. But you don't have the airline, which adds weight. You got the airline pulling on you, so it's kind of a pro and a con at the same time, the heaviness of it. But yeah, why don't we get this thing and pound off some lug nuts and see what it sounds like and all that jazz. All right, got the rally wagon up here on the lift, and rips them right off. No problem. I'm not going to take the last one because these being studs, the wheel just wants to fall off. European lug studs. Now another thing with this that I wouldn't do, with a pneumatic gun, the electric guns have kind of like a screwdriver or a nut driver where it doesn't use the anvil right away. Like you can just real easily slam in a lug nut real slow and not cross-threaded in there. You try that with a pneumatic gun, they're always slamming, they're always hammering, so you don't get it in right, you can mess up the threads. But the electric ones, because you can go so slow with it, you can just make sure it threads in there right, and then it impacts when you need it. Now I don't know if the camera's microphone picks up how loud this is. But it's fairly loud, not as loud with the guard on it. Let's try the DeWalt version. Now, one thing I noticed with this is it definitely doesn't feel as well built. Yeah, I can hear stuff moving around. This gun's about a year old, but hasn't been used every day. And you can just hear, this one doesn't make that noise. And this one's making a snapping. I think that's just the tolerances aren't as tight on this one. It's definitely a cheaper version. I'm not sure what this costs. When I bought my gun, I think I spent $700 on it. I want to say this is probably around $4 now. I might be wrong. And yeah, you hear the difference. It's much louder. And you see it's having a little more trouble. It's also, I can feel it vibrating more in my hand. I don't know if that translates to the camera. Still has that zip function to set them right in there nice. But yeah, definitely louder. The DeWalt version's definitely louder. Definitely has just a little different feel to it. I think the handle has a little different feel to it. But yeah, definitely both quality tools. But I definitely recommend the Mac Tools version. If you have a tool guy, you can put it on your tool payment, and you know, otherwise you go to Home Depot, you got to buy the cheaper one, either pay full pop or put it on your credit card. But yeah, BL Spec brushless motor. I wonder what that all means. I don't think mine actually had that on it. Not that you can see it now. Well, anyways, guys. Well, yeah, guys, an awesome tool. The technology, great. Made in USA. I definitely recommend, and I think if you've been on the fence about buying a lithium powered impact gun, I think you really can't go wrong with the Mac Tools version. I think out of what's out there, this has probably got the best support behind it. It's got the best interchangeability of the batteries, being able to use other DeWalt tools that you can get pretty inexpensively because you don't have to buy all the stuff that comes with it. So yeah, if you're a tech with a Mac dealer that comes to you, I definitely recommend buying this from your Mac dealer. If you're a homeowner shade tree mechanic, then definitely go for the DeWalt version that you would get. It's a little cheaper, but if you're not going to be using it every day, the DeWalt version is the one to go. But if you're a real nut breaker like me and you're, you know, cars every day, you're going to use it every day you're at work, then definitely go with the Mac version. Like I said, I got this thing rebuilt right under warranty, right at a year, so I know I get another year of use out of it, which you probably do the same thing. I mean, use it every day, maybe something will start making some noise with it, you give it to your Mac dealer and you get a new one right in your hand. You don't have to worry about it. So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review. I just want to let you guys know about the technology that's out there. If you're on the fence of buying like the Snap-on Monster Lithium, just keep in mind that's all you're going to be able to use is the Monster Lithium tools. But at least with the Mac version, you got a lot more options for you. Well, anyways, guys, I got to get to some work pulling out. We got to get the rally wagon fixed up. And on that note, and until next time, keep it out of the cabbage.